YouTube? I'm back again today for another game review. Today I'm checking out the Powerpuff's Girl game, Saving the World Before Bedtime, from Hasbro and Milton Bradley. Boom! Tag Team Powerhouse. This is for ages 8+, 2 to 4 players. Take you, I don't know, about 15 to 20 minutes to play. And in the Powerpuff Girls game, you're going to be moving the 3 Powerpuff Girls all around the city, fighting bad guys by rolling dice. But the interesting aspect, the thing that sounds slightly different from your typical mass market game of this style, is actually the cards that you lay down are going to have times on them, and whoever's time is earliest is going to take their turn. So there's no set turn order in this game. It's actually dictated by the time on the cards. So an interesting gamery mechanism, but is it a good game? Let's open it up and I'll show you, and I'll let you know what I think. And yeah, I don't know why this part right here, I'm stretching it out so long. Let's just get to the middle part where you see my hands, because they're so pretty hands. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what should again set up the Powerpuff Girls game, Saving the World Before Bedtime. So first and foremost, we have our handy-dandy rule booklet. It is pretty much just one page, double-sided, full color, full pictures, illustrations. And it's well done. Should have you up and running in no time at all. It's also a very simple game, so I can teach you how to play right now. So in Powerpuff Girls game, this is a competitive game in which you are going to try to be the first person who is going to be able to successfully defeat 4 villains, sorry. And if you're the first person to do that, then you will win the game. How you're going to do that is by playing cards down and moving around the board and rolling dice to kill villains. So let's go over the components. Let's get in the gameplay. First, this is a very big board. I don't know if you can really tell the scale, but man, this is a whopping massive board right here. Maybe about the size of a Ticket to Ride board. Pretty stinking big. And on it, you're going to have all sorts of different tiles. I'm missing a couple tiles, like right here, but it doesn't really impact gameplay. On these tiles, they're going to be face down, but when you go to them, they'll go face up, and they'll either have like villains. Sometimes they will have good stuff. Save this tile, play this tile to reroll all battle dice, which is great. Sometimes they'll have traps, which will be bad. All Powerpuff Girls on the space are knocked out. Remove this tile from play. And you never know what you're going to land on. So the crux of the game, though, is going to be this card. And these cards. You're going to have 5 cards when you start each round, and you're going to play 2 cards down in front of you. Everyone's going to reveal them simultaneously. Then based on the time on the cards, you're going to be moving the Powerpuff Girls around the city trying to defeat villains. So how does it work? Let's show you how it works. So let's see. Move all the Powerpuff Girls to Pokey Oaks School on Main Street. Yeah, this one's a great one to start off with. So you know what? I'll do this one at 2. I'll do this one at 2:15. And then let's pretend that somebody else, did these 2 cards right here. So those are the 2 cards they play. These are the 2 cards I play. I draw back up to 5 cards, and then we reveal all the cards to see what the times are. So 2 o'clock, 2:15, 7:45, and 7:50 p.m. So I get to do both of mine first. So move all the Powerpuff Girls to Pokey Oaks School or Main Street. Normally what you want to do when you're doing this is see if there is a tile there, because that's how you're going to beat people. So I'll start off by moving all the girls to Main Street. Then you flip over the tile, reveal it, and aha! It is a villain. Roll more than one or more hearts to capture the Hydra. This is where the dice come into play. There should be 3 dice. I only have 2, but really, I mean, you could just roll 1 other die to simulate having 3 dice. So I'll roll the first 2 dice. Oh no, I got a B, which means I immediately fail. So the V is the worst thing that you can get. Bam! So you have failed. The villains have won, and all of the world is sad because all the Powerpuff Girls are actually knocked out, which means none of the other turns even happen. So that would be the end of the first turn. Bam, we're done. That kind of stinks. I had big plans. Now, go back, boom, everything's right in the world. Play 2 more cards. Let's see if this one goes slightly better. For my example, Mayor, cancel any player's card. Oh yeah, because those are some of those in there, which will cancel the people's cards if they're about to win the game. Sure, we'll do these ones. Play these 2. He plays those 2. Let's see what happens. 7:15 p.m., 6:10 p.m. for him, and for me, I have a 1:40 and a 4:15, so I get to do 2 things first. Now, the ideal move is to have more than 1 Powerpuff Girl on a spot to fight. That really is the best thing you can do, but in this case, it might not be the easiest. So let's see. I'm going to go ahead and move her, the green one, 1 space for my 140 move, and boom, we got a bad guy. Let's see if I can beat him. Beat him. Bam. This goes into my pile. Good for me. Happy days. Blue now gets to move, so this goes in the discard pile. Doesn't go off the side of the board, but I'm throwing it off the side of the board. So let's see. I'll move blue. 1. Yeah. Actually, 1, 2 to Mojo Jojo's hideout. And oh no. Oh, this is bad. So we got to roll 2. Probably not going to get it. Villain wins. Blue's knocked down, which stinks for this person because that means that their 715 is not going to happen, but they can still do their 610. They're seeing there's a villain here that has 2 hearts. Probably don't want to go there, so they'll just go ahead and go 1 right here, and they have a weak villain. They got Little Archero and, oh man, knocked out 2. So both get knocked out. That's the end of the round. Boom. Draw 2 more cards, pick everybody up, rinse, wash, repeat until eventually someone gets 4 of these tiles, at which point they will be the winner of the Powerpuff Girls Saving the World Before Bedtime game. And that in a nutshell is how the game is played. Alrighty then, the Powerpuff Girls game Saving the World Before Bedtime. Whew, stupid long name. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First on the pro side, it's light, it's simple, it's easy to learn, it's easy to teach. It does have some gamery mechanisms, which I was pleasantly surprised with. How, for instance, you can kind of mitigate the die rolling by having, more than one Powerpuff Girl on a spot. That's always nice when you can kind of plan that up. And that does lead to some forward planning, which is not something I was expecting with this game. So I did like that aspect. I also like the fact that it's the turn order is decided by the turn order is decided by the time on the cards. But we're talking about the pros, so I'll stick with that. I think that's a neat concept. Component-wise, components are perfectly fine. I'd say they're good. Good components. Board's bright, colorful. People who like the show are going to recognize stuff and be like, hey, that's the thing, that's the guy, oh, that's the lady, that's the stuff, that's the spot. And they'll be like, yay, cool. I'm not familiar with the show that much. I've watched 1 episode, and it wasn't for me. So I didn't get any of the other stuff. Does not say it's welcome. Short, sweet, to the point. And that's what I got on the Powerpuff Games Girl Saving the Bed Before Bedtime. Moving on to the cons. This is your typical mass market game that's not particularly good. And it's not as bad as a lot of other mass market stuff that I played, so that is something that I do want to mention. I don't really feel like that's a pro, though, that you're better than most of the other crap that's out there. But yeah, it's not terrible. It's not good, or I would say it's not even okay. I'd say it's mediocre. This is the kind of game that I never, ever want to play again, because it really all comes down to it's very luck-driven, which you can expect with a game like this, but the die rolls. If you roll the V on the knockout, even though you got 3 Powerpuff Girls there, I mean, what are you going to do? You're just going to roll the V. And also, you're going to find out, and as you saw in the middle part, your turns are going to get canceled a lot, especially when you're playing with 4 players, just because if somebody gets knocked out on the first thing, like the first example I showed you, I went somewhere, and all the Powerpuff Girls got knocked out, and boom. Everybody else's turn for the round was done. So you might have this great plan. We're like, haha, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm excited. And it's like, oh, it's done. No, you're done. Okay. Well, cool. Let's make another plan. And that is the thing you're going to be doing over and over and over again. There's nothing particularly of note here to really tell you that's great. I mean, the components are the best aspect of this game. The box is too large. I wish there was more variety in cards. I wish there was more variety in tiles. There's, the take that cards, which are kind of annoying, especially when it's like you save them for the right time. It's like, oh, haha, I got to cancel anyone's card. So that's super annoying. Getting knocked out, super annoying, because then, if somebody else gets knocked out, your turn is canceled. Like, there is no benefit whatsoever to going last. Like, you want to play the earliest times possible every single time, because if you don't, you risk the Powerpuff Girls getting knocked out, and then you don't even get to take your turn. So it's like, if you're routinely going last because you're just unfortunately getting higher cards, like in that example happened, you're losing half your turn or your entire turn, and other people are getting those turns. Now, they're getting knocked out, so they're probably not getting villains, or maybe they're only getting 1 villain, but still, that's not fun when you lose your turn and other people are not losing your turn, and it's all random because it's based on the time. Maybe everybody had like a set number of time cards and you got them back as you played them or something like that. I think that would make the game slightly more balanced and interesting, but that's not what this game is. This is the Powerpuff Games Girl from Hasbro and Milton Bradley. Like, not just one mass market, crappy company that makes most of the time, not the greatest games, but 2 put together. So there you go. The Powerpuff Girls game, Saving the World Before Bedtime. Stupidly long title and a mediocre game. I'm not going to say it's bad. Kids had fun with it. I mean, the kids that I played it with were like, yeah, this is okay. I like this. This is good. And I was like, okay, good. Glad you like it. But I never want to play it again. So we're never playing this again. Yeah. Even if you're a diehard fan of the show, I think there's just way better games out there that I would recommend over this one while I attempt not to sneeze while still acting professional. So there you go. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know. Cell phone case, yay or nay? Do you have one, and also, do you like it? If you had enough money where you didn't have to worry about your phone being broken, would you still utilize the case? For me personally, it's a tough one. I would not. Like, if I was like a multimillionaire, I would not use the case just because I'd rather have a smaller phone in my pocket. And I mean, those cases are pretty bulky, especially if you have like a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old like I do. But yes, I do have a case because I have a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. And if you don't, you're kind of nuts because, yeah, they break things a lot on accident and sometimes on purpose. But that's when they get in trouble. But of course, that's when they get in trouble. But that brings me on to parenting, which is my next question. But that's a completely different video. Man, I'm rambling right now. There you go. Answer the question in the comments below. And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.